Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine, and today I am going to do the homework 3, I believe it is, from the Creative Reset. I've got a little pile of mixed media artist card here. I've cut it so it'll fit in my sketchbook, and I've got space underneath. I can either have it landscape or portrait, depending on how I feel these things look. Now, the idea today is to just have fun and play, but with a couple of limitations. So I've got a limited colour palette, some acrylic paint. I've got black, white, blue, yellow, red. I'm using Pebeo Studio acrylics for the black and white because I'm a beginner. And then I did splurge and spend a little bit more money on the System 3 acrylics, cadmium red. I wish I'd got magenta, cadmium yellow hue, and phthalo blue. And then I've got some other things to make marks with. I've got a pencil in black. I've got a Sharpie pen. And I've got some distress crayons, Tim Holtz distress crayons. I've had these a very long time. I don't even know if they still work, but I thought we'd give the black a go because that's water reactive. I can spray on it. I can smudge it with my finger, with a wet finger maybe, and we'll see if we can get anything with that. I've got some brushes, and I've watched Louise's demo this morning, and she used a stencil, and I was looking through my extensive stencil collection, and I thought, oh, I saw this from Funky Fossil. I thought, numbers would be good. I know this is back to front. Actually, that might be quite good. But then I thought, I don't necessarily want anything that's recognisable on here as script or text. I might use that kind of style, but I don't want people to read and think, oh, you know. So I was looking through more of my stencils, and I came across this from Carrie Gibson, who's here on YouTube. I'll try and link her in the description box. Carrie, I must apologise, I've not watched any of your videos for ages, and you probably haven't watched any of mine either. I've got a selection of brushes, a selection of mark making tools like some palette knives, a scraper. So I've got 12 little pieces. I'm going to make marks on all of them first. I'm going to work portrait, but then when they're finished, I might have a look and see what I think. I've got a cheeky cup of coffee. I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes. I will put you on time lapse. I should also add that my other limitation is that I'm going to be playful. I am not going to be too self-critical, and I'm going to try not to alter anything that I've put down on the page. My 30 minutes is up, and I've washed all of my equipment. Gosh, I made one awful mess. Not only here, but one might consider that these are a mess as well. When they are dry, I'll show you a close-up of each one, and we'll talk about the merits, whether we think they're landscape, portrait, whether there's any value in them, whether there's anything that can be added to them, or whether they would all just be chucked. I am going to put them in a sketchbook that I've got. I'll show you the sketchbook at the end of this little series. It's the next morning now, particularly miserable morning. Yes, so these are in no particular order, but I think this one is my least favourite. Everything is dry. You can't see the marks that I made underneath really. I do quite like that little bit of layering, and then there's a little bit of reverse stenciling there with some diluted acrylic paint. Is it better that way? Is it better that way? Is it better that way? Yes, the consensus between hubby and son is that everything's beginning to look the same. Maybe that means I've found a style. And yeah, I'm making mud. On the sheet that I had drying, I think this was this way up, or it might have been this way up. I do quite like the energy behind those strokes, if that makes sense, but the colours are just awful. I did quite like this blue, but no. No, they're all going to go in my sketchbook. I do quite like these random little squiggles. That was with pen, I think. This is the Distress crayon. A little bit of the reverse. No, that's actually stenciling with paint through there. Now, bits of this I quite liked. I liked the kind of scraping. And again, we've got the reverse stenciling there, stenciling through the Carrie Gibson stencil there. No, it's just all too childlike. It's just ridiculous. Now, when this went down, I loved the play of all the colours here. But yeah, I don't think I'm making any progress. On this one, I like the lime green that I've created. And I do like the orange and the blue. I think that's quite a nice combination, isn't it? I think if it was Tim Holtz colours, it'd be something like Twisted Citron, maybe Spiced Marmalade, or Carved Pumpkin or something, and Blueprint Sketch there. This one I do quite like. I like the stenciling. I like here where I've tried to cover something up. Is it better that way? Is it better that way? Is it better that way? I don't think there is a right or wrong way. And then out of those 10, I did say in the introduction I'd got 12, but clearly I'd only got 10. I think I like this one the best. But the marks need to be more intentional, I think. But in terms of success, I think that I did create without intention, if that makes sense, and I didn't go back and alter anything. So I'm feeling a bit stressed now because I'm behind. I was supposed to do yesterday's art lesson yesterday, and I haven't. I was just for some reason really tired, so I'm going to crack on with that in a bit, but I do need to go and get a large sheet of paper and some masking tape because I've run out after exercise 1. So yes, thank you for joining me on that study. These will go in my sketchbook. I will decide which orientation I like, and I'll make some notes on the page about them at some point, maybe leave it a bit. But yes, thank you for joining me.